What's up, everybody? It's Brandon from Cult Flick Symposium and Box Office Banner. Just took the fam to go see Super Mario Brothers movie in IMAX. A little background on me: the games. I was a fan of the games. I think a lot of people were. I remember. I don't know where you played the games. I never had it at home. I always had to go over to my Grammy's house, my grandma's house, and I'd go over with my cousins. For instance, Josh, who's on Box Office Banner, he is one of my cousins, and we used to play Mario. I even would go to his house sometimes to play Mario on Super Nintendo. And while I was not an avid fan, and I'm not an avid fan, it was a big part of my childhood. Now, I enjoy playing the games, but I don't know every bit about the game inside and out, aside from, Save the Princess, Peach, you know, they were plumbers. I understand the basics, but I don't know it inside and out. I didn't even play Mario Kart really that much, as crazy as that is. As far as the movie went, it's a shit show, let's be honest, but it is a guilty pleasure. Maybe that's the cult flick symposium side coming out of me, because there is a little bit of cult flick status on that movie, because it really is a so bad it's good type of flick. Like, it's almost so nonsensical that like you can almost enjoy it. I still kind of do enjoy it in that way, but objectively terrible movie. But again, not the fan like me or fans like me, but the avid fans I think really wanted to see a great adaptation that really, just took them back, provided that nostalgia factor. And again, kind of weird to say coming at it from a non-avid fan point of view, was definitely at least an upgrade from the last movie. This is not an amazing movie. This is a good movie, though. Definitely a fun one to bring your kid out to. My daughter is 4 years old, soon to be 5. She knows nothing about Mario, never seen Mario anything in her life, to even my knowledge, and she was hooked in. She was locked in. Positives I'll give this movie. I think it did good. Again, now don't shoot me. Like, I'm not an avid fan, but from a fan perspective and outside looking in of not being a Mario Brothers fucking history encyclopedia, it felt like they did a good job of paying homage to like everything that the game was, all while not making it too corny and making it take place, in today's day and age. I thought they did a good job with that. I think the world building was really well done. I think the animation looked great. It was really well done. Very fun to see in IMAX. I would recommend seeing it that way. And I think the voice actors were really good. I've seen some complaints about the voice acting, especially like I've seen Seth Rogen's name tossed around a lot. Now, admittedly, I was about to say everybody loves Seth Rogen though, because I was gonna say I love Seth Rogen. Then I was gonna double down on, well, everybody loves Seth Rogen, but no, that's not really true, is it? Like anymore, it seems like Seth Rogen is like the guy that's fun to hate for some reason lately. But I'm still not in that ballpark. I might disagree with some things he says, but when he's on screen, Seth Rogen's one of my favorite funny people ever. I love the guy. Maybe I'm a bit biased here because he can do no wrong in my eyes. I'm even trying to think of a role I didn't like him in outside of maybe The Guilt Trip. Doesn't have much shade I can throw at him. Even The Green Hornet, being a big Bruce Lee fan, I somehow enjoyed that for what it was. So take this, I guess, with a grain of salt, but I didn't see anything wrong with his performance of Donkey Kong. I guess maybe I could have pictured him as like a different character, and maybe that's where people are coming from. Like maybe they were on the same wavelength as me, where they had a different vision for Donkey Kong. I can get that. I kind of feel that way too, but it's not like his voice acting was off, like maybe miscast, maybe you can use that. But overall, it wasn't bad. But this is where the movie is kind of bad at the same time. It doesn't ruin the movie, but these are the problems I have. As good as I actually think, and maybe I'm alone I can die on this hill, I think the voice acting is, I don't think this movie is particularly funny, which is problematic because of the talent given in this film. Now, it can be a kids movie. So yeah, it's aimed for kids. Even my wife told me that, like, how you gonna be so hard on not being that funny? It's a kids movie. I'm like, yeah, but doesn't mean a kids movie can't be funny. And it's not that it's like void of humor. Like there's a lot of like, like the little like you breathe through your nose, maybe a little harder type funny moments. But there's not much laugh out loud stuff to be had here to me. And like I said, that's very disappointing given the talent. I mean, you got Chris Pratt in this. Now, I'm of the camp that a lot of people are that like we want to see Chris Pratt play a different kind of role. It always seems like he's playing Chris Pratt, which is great, and that runs thin. But this is just a straight up comedy movie, and I like, when Chris Pratt is in a straight up comedy movie. He can be Chris Pratt. I run into these problems when he's in like an action or drama movie. I'm like, you're still being Chris Pratt. You're just placing an action drama movie. When he's in comedy mode, I still want him to be Chris Pratt. This movie, I'm cool with that. He can be Chris Pratt. And he actually doesn't really feel like Chris Pratt. A lot of times I don't even recognize his voice. So debatably, maybe his best performance. No, I'm not going to put that on him. But it was, he was good in the movie. But was he funny? Was he hilarious? No, not quite. Charlie Day is Luigi. I mean, there's maybe a couple scenes. Like, he was a very lovable character. Again, likable, lovable. But it wasn't really ever funny to me. Anya Taylor-Joy, I think she's got a little bit of, she's not really the comedy person. But I do sense, and I feel like I've seen a couple times where she is showcased that she's got like that dry, like capable of doing like almost like a Aubrey Plaza type humor. But I think her actual face, rather, being depicted rather than her playing the princess where it's not her actual face, would be crucial to pull that off. So maybe that's why they didn't utilize any of that within the character. Again, not a bad character, fun, playful, not that funny. Bowser, Jack Black, is like the villain. Did nothing for me. I mean, it was kind of cool hearing him sing in the movie. The song was like mildly comical, but again, it's like the breathe through your nose laugh rather than laugh out loud laugh. There's a lot of moments with Bowser I'm like, huh, but I'm never like, oh shit. I'm never losing it over Bowser's character. It didn't do much for me, and in general, it was one of the weaker characters in me because and that's hard for me to say because I love Jack Black, but it's just. I've seen, even though it's a kid's movie, I've seen this type of character. Like, I want my kids, even my kids' villain, maybe that's just me, to be downright ruthless. He is ruthless. He doesn't have to be violent, but he's ruthless. But it's that ebb and flow. I would have liked Jack Black to, I guess, not even Jack Black, but for them to maybe cast somebody to play him a little more serious. I don't know. Like, not even to, give that weight that I needed in a more serious, like, horror movie or drama movie, action movie villain, but just to, like I've just seen that goofy character in every fucking cartoon, where it's, oh my God, I'm evil. And then the next second you're like, oh, but I'm a bit of a baby behind closed doors. It's just that trope has been done and tired too much. And that's a big problem with the comedy in this movie too that I haven't even mentioned is like a lot of times when the jokes maybe should land, it's like I've seen this done better in movies, And then you got Michael Keegan Key. I actually love his character as like Toad. I believe he plays Toad. I think that was his name in the movie. Yeah, Toad. He was just, he wasn't really funny, but he gave me a little bit more of like, the nose breathe laughs, I guess we'll call them. The MBLs, as we're going to abbreviate to, the nose breathe laughs. He gave me a couple more of those and other characters, and he just was honestly maybe the most likable character. Him and this other character, I wouldn't even know how to describe it. It was like this girl that was like, they even called her a ball of sunshine. I don't want to give away too much, but this character comes in when other characters are all captured and she's been down there a while and she's almost like morbid with it, or as morbid as you could be with movie, for this age group. Like she's just always like saying the worst possible outcome and is excited for it. Her and Toad were definitely probably my favorite characters. And then Seth Rogen as Donkey. Didn't see a problem with them, but again, not that funny. And again, doesn't hold the movie back. It's good. There's some nose breathe laughs, some MBLs, but with this cast, man, I wanted more laughs. It's honestly almost downright a juggernaut comedy cast. Like if you saw these actors and it wasn't animated, like it was coming out like not like we get even like good comedies anymore, but like say we were in the Judd Apatow era and all these dudes were in the same movie, you would be losing your mind. You're like, this is going to be amazing. I wish they could have churned out some more laughs. Other problem I had, I think the story at times was a bit disjointed and the pacing was a little off to me. sometimes it's hard to place. I feel like where you were at in the movie. I think the beginning had some good setup, and then it, out of nowhere, I felt like it was in the middle for like 2 seconds. It was kind of like, are we still in the beginning? I kind of feel like we're in the beginning, and then by the time you realize you're in the middle's over, and then the end is happening, and you're like, is this about to wrap up? And you're like, oh no, there's more. There's something about it with the pacing, like it felt like everything was rushed. It's like right when I dove into a scene that I was really clinging on to, other than like your couple, just bullet points, gotta have it moments. It just felt like it just kind of skimmed over it real fast, or it wasn't even worth visiting. It's just kind of like, oh, this is that. All right, let's get out of here. Not enough, I guess, development with everything within the story. It just didn't really hit for me in that regard. But nonetheless, like I said, still great world building. I think it will provide the nostalgia. I think it is overall a fun vibe. Not overly funny characters, which is disappointing given the cast, but still likable to lovable characters. And very cool to see a movie like this put on screen with this type of like great animation. And the soundtrack, again, this is a kind of love hate. I really enjoyed the soundtrack. I thought it went really well with the movie. I enjoyed every song and its placement in this movie. But the one negative nitpick I guess I could do is like it's songs you've heard in so many other movies. But overall, the soundtrack was kind of cool because just the way it flowed with everything. And overall, I got to give this movie a 7 out of 10. It's good. For me, 7 out of 10 and above, 7 and above is really good. I got to give it really good, but just by a hair, for those reasons I just named. But also, I can't give it great because of the other reasons I just named that just hold it back a little bit. The potential was set to be something even greater, even higher. But at the end of the day, if you want to take your kid out to a movie, you should do that with this movie. If you are an avid Super Mario Brothers fan, I think you more than likely will be pleased. If you're a Super Mario Brothers fan like me, who's not avid but enjoys it, more than likely you'll at least be happy with a one-off watch. If you're somebody that knows nothing, like you've never picked up a gaming console, you just for whatever reason never played the Super Mario games, you don't understand anything about it, you're probably not going to enjoy it. But if you're any of those 3 out of the 4, before I name the one thing, you probably at least will think it's worth a one-off watch. So check it out. Definitely. There is some fun to be had. There is some negatives, but it's not as bad or as mixed of a watch, I guess, as I think other people are letting on, even though I am mixed myself. It's just the cons don't really weigh the movie down that much for me. It's more of everything that's a con is even fine. It's just the potential of what it could be given the people behind the voices. I think that's it, guys. Love y'all. Let me know what y'all think of Super Mario Brothers.